The rain came down in thin, silvery sheets, tapping on the roof of Daniel's old pickup truck like impatient fingers. He sat in the driver's seat, waiting for the gas pump to click, glancing at the back seat where his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, was drawing in a battered notebook. It had been a long day at the construction site, and his hands still smelled faintly of sawdust and rust. Money was tight, tighter than it had been in years, and every dollar he put into the tank was one less for groceries. But tonight, he was just thankful the truck had made it to the station without stalling. That's when he noticed her. She was leaning against the far side of the gas station wall, hood pulled low, arms wrapped tightly around herself. Even in the dim glow of the flickering overhead lights, Daniel could see her shoulders trembling. At first, he thought she was just cold. But then she brushed a hand across her cheek, and the truth struck him: she was crying. Not the quiet kind of crying that slips out like a secret, but the kind that shakes your whole body, the kind that's been building up for far too long. Daniel glanced at Lily, who had looked up from her notebook and was now watching the woman with a frown. "Daddy," she whispered, "she's sad." He didn't know this woman. She could have been anyone, a stranger just passing through. And yet, something in her body language spoke to him. That weight in her shoulders, the way she seemed to be trying to disappear into the brick wall, he'd been there before. Too many times. The gas pump clicked, but instead of getting back in the truck, Daniel walked over. "Hey," he said gently, stopping a few feet away so he wouldn't scare her. "You okay?" She stiffened, quickly swiping at her face. "I'm fine." The words were brittle, like glass about to crack. "You don't look fine." His voice was calm, steady. "I'm Daniel. My daughter's over there in the truck." The woman hesitated, then let out a shaky breath. I just had a really bad day." Daniel nodded, not pressing. "Bad days happen," he said. "But sometimes talking makes them a little easier." For a moment, she didn't respond. Then, almost against her will, words began spilling out. Her name was Emily. She'd driven hours to see someone who'd promised to help her with a serious legal problem, only to be met with betrayal. Her phone had died, she had no money for gas, and the hotel she'd planned to stay at had cancelled her reservation without notice. She felt stranded, in every sense of the word. Daniel listened, not with the pity that so often makes people shut down, but with genuine attention. When she finished, she gave a bitter laugh. "I don't even know why I'm telling you this. You're a stranger." "Sometimes strangers are the easiest people to talk to," Daniel said. "Because they don't expect anything from you." She looked at him for a long moment, and something softened in her expression. Daniel didn't have much. His wallet held just enough for gas and maybe a loaf of bread on the way home. But he knew what it felt like to stand in the rain with nowhere to go. Without thinking twice, he reached into his pocket, pulled out the last $20 bill he had, and held it out to her. Her eyes widened. "I can't take that." "You can," he said firmly. "And you should. You can pay me back someday if you want, or pay it forward. Doesn't matter. Just, don't give up tonight." Emily stared at him, and Daniel could see she was fighting the urge to refuse. Finally, her hands closed around the bill. "Thank you," she whispered. I don't know what to say." "Don't say anything. Just get somewhere safe." With that, he gave her a small nod, returned to his truck, and drove off into the wet night. The next morning, Daniel was back at work, lugging heavy beams across the construction site, his muscles aching with every step. He thought about Emily a few times, wondering if she'd managed to find a place to sleep, but pushed the thought aside. Life didn't leave much room for dwelling on what-ifs. That evening, when he got home to the tiny apartment he and Lily shared, there was a car parked outside, a sleek black sedan that looked like it belonged in a different world entirely. A woman stepped out, holding a folder. For a moment, Daniel didn't recognize her without the hood and rain-soaked clothes. "Emily?" he asked, surprised. She smiled, and it was a different smile than the night before, steadier, lighter. "Hi, Daniel. I hope I'm not intruding." "No, of course not. You okay?" "I'm more than okay," she said. "And I wanted to thank you." "Properly." She handed him the folder. Inside was a set of papers, and a key. Daniel looked up in confusion. "What is this?" "It's a deed," she said. "To a house. It's yours." Daniel blinked, certain he'd misheard her. "What? No. I can't. I can't accept that." "Yes, you can," she said softly. "Because last night, you gave me something no one had in a long time, kindness without conditions. You didn't know me, you didn't ask for anything, and you gave me your last $20 just so I'd be safe. That kind of generosity changes people. It changed me. I'm in a position to help you, and I want to. This house is already paid for. No strings." He opened his mouth to protest again, but the sincerity in her eyes stopped him. Lily came to the doorway, her big brown eyes curious. "Daddy, who's this?" Daniel swallowed hard, his voice thick. "This is a friend. A very kind friend." Emily knelt down to Lily's height. "Hi, sweetheart. I think you and your dad deserve a place where you can have your own room. Maybe even a backyard." Lily's face lit up, and Daniel felt something in his chest crack open. A mixture of disbelief, gratitude, and the overwhelming reminder that the smallest acts can ripple into something far greater than you ever imagined. That night, after Emily left, Daniel sat at the kitchen table, the deed spread out in front of him. He thought about how quickly life could shift, how a chance encounter at a gas station in the rain could change everything. And he realized something: you never really know when your kindness will come back to you. You don't help people because you expect it to. You do it because it's right. And sometimes, life finds a way to thank you in return.